Okay, you guys, welcome to my very first Instagram TV Real Talk video. I have got my best friend here, Julia. She's from Nashville. My little sister, she's currently living in Baltimore, Maryland. She is in the United States Air Force, so she kind of like all over the place. But anyways, I made a post not too long ago, and I was just saying that I wanted to do things that were more impactful versus just posting a pretty picture online. I wanted to do things or something that was more meaningful or had more meaning. So that's where I came up with this idea for my Real Talk videos. And a lot of the questions I want to answer, or we, are going to be based on questions from you guys, from things that maybe you're going through or you need an unbiased opinion on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the questions. You read it.
Okay. So
Don't say who
this
did.
I'm not. This
Okay.
is anonymous, and it says, "I'm an 18-year-old. How do I deal with peer pressure and how to remain motivated to do things in life?"
So that's a two-part question. So
let's start with
the first question, which is she's 18 years old and how to deal with peer pressure. You know what? I kind of feel like whenever you're a teenager, so whenever you're entering your teenage years until you're now at 18, where you're making that transition from teenager to adult, you're getting probably ready to graduate high school this year. This time in your life, you're probably feeling like you need validation from your peers, being accepted from your peers. Like, I will say this, even at 37, sometimes I still fight that, wanting to be accepted and wanting to blend in and trying to do things to be that way. So don't just feel like, you know, only young people feel that way, because we all do. But I think at this point in your life, it's so important for you to seek that validation from your peers. And I would just say to you, what I feel like is so wrong with society these days is no one wants to really tap into their own uniqueness. And just being yourself and organically really just letting people come to you based on who you are, instead of going along with the flow and trying to be someone that you're not so that you can blend in and try to be what you think other people want you to be. And I mean, even it's hard. I mean, it's really hard, but just really focus on that. And I'm telling you, it will really, really change your life. You guys have any feedback?
Did you want to go?
No.
Okay, just to piggyback off what Tiffany's saying, the fact that you even asked the question, it's great because you're thinking about it. And I think this is a critical age where you really begin to start really learning and defining who you are. And once you decide who you are in little pieces of who you are as you live life, but there are certain things that take precedent or priority of your character and your morals and who you are. And once you can stand solid in that, peer pressure won't matter, you know. And you have to keep in mind too that sometimes people pressure other people because they feel pressured.
Right.
Absolutely.
So and you don't have to, it's great not to blend in and not to go along with the flow all the time.
Right.
So your uniqueness, as Tiffany was saying, it's such a commodity the older you get.
So my take on it, not all peer pressure is bad. So if they're telling you to do something that is illegal or to do some drugs, of course that is
Or
bad.
sneak out.
Or sneak out the house. Oh, come, you know, we got these guys. No, okay,
Yeah.
that's bad peer pressure. But if your friends they see that you're maybe like to yourself, you don't really want to ever go anywhere.
That's a very good point.
They kind of want you to, you know, develop more. Like, all peer pressure isn't bad. So if it's something that you know isn't going to harm you or harm somebody around you, or you won't go to jail, or it's just not something bad, but hey, let's go jet ski. Maybe you're scared.
And you're afraid of being
Right,
adventurous.
exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something like that. I'm not sure, because it's
So many
kind of
levels.
Yeah,
Because
so
it's
many
where
levels.
is the peer pressure coming from?
Exactly.
Yes, and
Who
we-
do you surround yourself with?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm assuming peer pressure in the sense of wanting to fit in. This is just an assumption. If we
Right.
had a scenario, it would be a little bit easier to answer the question.
Right.
But as it pertains to peer pressure on the negative side, I just also want to point out to you that natural born leaders are people who are being cultivated into leaders. They don't follow the crowd.
Right.
Real leaders who are going to lead others, they usually stand out and they stand in their own. And people love realness. People love authenticity, and people gravitate towards that because the issue is no one is authentic. No, everyone wants to blend in and do
Yeah.
what others are doing. So
Right.
I hope that answers your
It becomes
questions.
so sought after. because
Absolutely.
it's not
And
the-
how to remain motivated.
So the second part of your question
Mm-hmm.
is how to remain motivated. I want to say this about motivation. It is my personal opinion that motivation is just a temporary feeling that you get and it goes away. So I don't feel like motivation is something good to help you achieve your goals or something that you want to reach in your life, because it will get you a little further and then it goes away because life happens.
Exactly.
And then you need something else to keep you motivated. I kind of feel like my husband always says you need to know what you want, and then you need to know why you want it, and that why is what's going to drive you. So when life happens and you know what you want, but you know why you want it, that's what's going to drive you.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be your motivation, is that why.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my
Yeah,
thought
not just
process
us.
on that.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the same for all
Same
of
here. You got to
Yeah.
know your why, and you just have to stay focused on that. And there have been plenty of situations that I've gone through where, and even just recently, and I'm 36 years old, where I was being judged for something, for goals that I was trying to achieve. And thank God I achieved them. But if I would have listened to the people around me, I would have never made those goals. So, I mean, that's a good question. Even though it's a two-part question, it goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
So know what your why is. And again, watch who you surround yourself by, because if these are people that love you and encourage you, they're going to help re-energize your motivation to stay on track.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes staying focused requires sacrifice. Sometimes staying focused means losing the people that are around you,
the
that
distractions.
the distractions, the noise. And I'm telling you, if you just stay focused on your whys, even negative whys, and what I mean by negative whys is when you know what you want, a negative why would be, so I don't feel like a failure,
Right.
or you know,
if I don't do this, then I will feel like a failure.
or even if you feel like you've got something to prove, you know,
Right.
that's a
Okay.
negative why also. So you want to stay focused on those whys and write those down as well.